and good evening. Welcome to the program. My name is Stephen Leader. I'm your host. I am thrilled to have with me in the studio Xavier, Caylor, who is responsible for an event which I love going to. It's called Flagging in the Park. Xavier, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, actually. We actually have a very small space here, and I wanted to get a demonstration of what flagging was about. So without further ado, I'm going to roll in some video that we shot just a few moments ago to illustrate what the flagging is, and we'll take it from there. Okay. So these are the various steps that you've actually gone through, the individual motions, right? The three basic steps.
So what goes through your head as you're doing this? Do you have music going through your head, or is it a...
So, such a complicated question to answer. Well, usually I'm flagging to music.
Right.
So I just went through the basic moves for you. So
Okay.
I'll talk with you about them.
Okay.
There's like a cycle where one hand is following the other.
Mm-hmm.
You can come up at this or you can come down. Same movement over the head, different plane. Instead of going out away from me in front, it's going to the sides here. So the plane is is flat with my body as opposed to flat with my sides. So this is flat with my sides. This is flat on the body. And then of course you can do this different parts of the body. So that's the chasing move. And then flat tire.
Hold on. Okay.
You can do this together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I call these opposites when you start. It's the same motion, it's just one's in front, one's in back. You can do this above the head, down in front, around your sides, and combinations thereof. Like that. So,
Fabulous.
So chasing,
Mm-hmm.
opposites, and then the dependent stuff.
Does it
Those are
depend...
the three moves.
Ah, I see. So there are about three basic moves. Does it also depend on the size of flagging that you have, or size of flags that you use? What kind of moves
the flags can dictate what you can do. Bigger flags are harder to fly in the wind,
Mm-hmm.
and small flags are easier.
I see.
But also the weight of the fabric, what the fabric's made out of. So this I'm spinning a silk. Lame is pretty easy to slice through the wind. And poly China silk, it has a little bit more drag, but it's very durable.
So you have a flag bag?
Yep, flags, fans, lots of different stuff in here.
You're fully equipped
Yes.
for the flagging man.
Yes.
Flagging man about town.
So these are fans, and I don't profess to be a master working them, but they're a little different than the flags. Of course, with fans, you can stop.
Right.
You can do... Oh, I don't even want to try.
Okay, what, with the wind?
Yes. It's a little too windy. But I speak of the difference between fans and flags as different dialects. If you can do one, you can do the other. And pois the same way. They're same dialects of the same language. Fans, I have some.
And what a poi?
Poi, well, poi is another flow art. It is, actually I think they were originally cups of coconuts with oil in them, with string that held them together, and Polynesians would spin them. They would light them on fire, but now it's become a very big Burning Man thing where they're pieces of material that are dipped in some type of fuel, lit on fire, and spun. Yeah, so similar.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
So
So here is a flag, and what? How do you make it fly?
in my flag bag, I know exactly where to pick up the flags, but flags are rectangular. The long side of the flag is called a spine, and you can see the weights that are sewn in here. Less so on these. Maybe I'll show you a different pair.
Okay.
But the weights, you
It's
see
all continuously along the seam.
it's an L shape.
L shape.
So long side has a longer portion, the short side has a smaller portion. And it's along that long side on the spine that I tell people to hold, usually about a forearm's length down, but when I'm flagging, I'll flag anywhere up and down this whole side. Just the further down you are, the closer you come to your eyes.
Right.
The more choked up you are on the further you are from your eyes. So.
Do you find there's like an optimum length that the flag actually wants to stay at to make it take flight, or is that?
The further down the spine, the more weight you have. The more weight you have, the more free you are. But it's also, in this wind, the more restricting because of being carried away by the wind. There's more sail. So,
I see.
yeah, definitely more weight's better.
It gives like a life to the flag in itself.
Yeah, I want to control the flag's life. Here,
Oh, okay.
I think these flags, you can see the weights. They're actually meant for curtains. And
Did you actually sew these yourself?
not this particular pair. This is a pair from a flag maker in Philly. His name is Larry Regal. He does great patchwork flags. I work with silk, tie-dye silk.
Great. So, Flagging in the Park. That's the event coming up this Saturday. Tell me more about it.
Well, Flagging in the Park was an event that was started 16 years ago in the then newly commissioned National AIDS Memorial Grove by a few friends of mine. They just got a sound system, took it down to the park, and started playing. And here we are 16 years later. What started out as a bunch of flaggers has turned into a bunch of flow artists, so it's not just flags but also fans, which you saw, poi. Every once in a while you'll see a staff spun out there, and the hoopers. I hope the hoopers come this week, but yeah, so it encompasses all the flow arts.
How did you actually get started in flagging?
I got started, my first exposure to fans was when I was a kid in 1984, and I remember going into a club and seeing somebody fan and thought, who is that queen? And now it's me. A few years later, I noticed some people flagging, and in that person I saw something that I guess resonated in myself, and I was motivated to pick up flags. That was in '97, and that was at a circuit party in Palm Springs, and the rest is history.
Was this something that you actually picked up relatively easy, or did you have to go through an apprenticeship or study for?
Well, you know, I think traditionally flagging was passed down. It was done so very carefully, kept not to be a mainstream thing, but more of those who are in the know, you know, much like the radical fairies. It's not something that you're initiated with your first time you hear about gay people. But, and in that, the master would teach a student. I received a set of flags. The person that had the opportunity to teach me basically said 2 or 3 things and was off, and I didn't have any more instruction. I learned with somebody that I was flagging with at the time. I now have a class at Gold's Gym where I have the opportunity to really teach and instruct people about etiquette and movement and a lot of things, but I was not given that same right. But yeah, so there's an opportunity to have somebody teach you and guide you through the process, but often it's just somebody picking up a set of flags and teaching themselves.
So there's a flagging etiquette. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
There is a flagging etiquette. I would say the most important rule of thumb for any flaggers out there that don't know it already is don't hit people that don't flag. Oftentimes I'll go into a crowded club and see somebody trying to flag in a crowd, and it's giving me a bad name, it's giving them a bad name, and it really is the first rule of thumb that you just don't want to cross that barrier. There's also other things around flagging, which involve other people's flags and how we respect other flaggers. But that's a good start. Don't hit people with your flags.
That sounds like very good advice. You actually also talked about a train wreck. No, what a train wreck? What did you call it? A flat tire on the video there. What is a flat tire?
Well, when the fabric wraps around the weights of the flag and instead of opening up with the flag. Yeah.
Okay, let's turn back to the memorial, the flagging at the park. So, what can people expect? Is this going to be a big event? Who's going to be doing the music first of all? Susan Morabito, right?
Susan Morabito, yeah.
And that is somebody I've heard of back in New York. An incredible DJ. This is quite a coup. How did you get her?
All of my DJs donate their time. A couple years ago, we wanted to plan something special. This is our 16th year doing Flagging in the Park. So as a sweet 16th birthday to the flaggers, I decided to really pump up the volume with this event. The whole weekend, there's a whole weekend of events, but Susan was contacted and asked by the AIDS Memorial Grove if she was willing to donate her time, and she was very enthusiastic about it, and here we are. Susan's coming Saturday.
That's great. I'm going to run some video now of the flagging that occurred last in June.
Right.
And this is with DJ.
The June event was Paul Goodyear, who is an international DJ. He's from Australia, so he's played all over. But here we are in the beautiful grove. Look at the gorgeous lush greenery here.
It is beautiful. Why the grove? It's such a special place.
Yeah. It all evolved. The national significance of AIDS 16 years ago brought this up on the spotlight, and the flaggers wanted to go there and not just mourn, but to celebrate life. Flagging is a type of meditation and a celebration all in the same. The music that's playing, if it's upbeat, happy music, when you get into your meditation, you're spinning the flags, you really process. It's an opportunity to process, and we were grieving 16 years ago.
Right, and these people aren't grieving, they're celebrating life. For me, this is my second trip to this event, and for me, the synchronicity of seeing how the bubbles were bursting at just the right time to the music. There is such a magic in the air here. And I felt like when I was flagging, there was a sense of catching the spirits within the flag, and they would just fly, almost like you had to guide them. You didn't have to do much effort. But flagging is good exercise as well as good meditation, isn't it?
It can be an exercise.
And there you are on the video, by the way, grabbing a flag.
Yes, I put out a sheet, and I dump about 100 sets of flags out there, and so passers-by can grab a set of flags. People that don't have flags or want to use somebody else's, they come up and take my flags and give them a twirl.
Which is most of them, I think, aren't they? But most of us don't have flags, so it's great that you put them all out, and you have Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence there. You have children. 2 months ago, I was there with friends, and a group of Japanese tourists showed up, and we were teaching them how to flag.
Yeah.
So it's not just about gay men, is it, for this event?
For this event, no. Flagging itself is open to anybody, but I will, be honest with you, it's been held by the gay community, and not just gay men, gay women as well, for the last 30 years, for sure. The roots of it might even be traced back to Loie Fuller, who was a lesbian at the turn of the century, 1880s, 1890s. Hundreds of yards of silk in her dress, spinning around in dark rooms trying to illuminate them, the silk that is, doing her serpentine dance. And she moved to Paris, and it was a big influence on the Folies Bergère. Here, vaudeville, I'm sure, is where flagging and fanning really lived, and held on Broadway. And when we stopped getting beat up for being out in the clubs, and we had an opportunity to really pull out all of our tricks, I think that's when flagging came back to life, flagging and fanning.
Is there a history? Did flagging come out of fanning, or are they concurrent in history?
Unfortunately, I think a lot of that information was lost with our brothers and sisters that died of the AIDS epidemic, which ironically we're here in the AIDS Memorial Grove celebrating life. I guess it's a tribute to them.
That seemed to be for me as well, just feeling the spirits of the people that used to dance. Now watch this guy as the spirit takes him. Off he goes. Look at that. That is flawless.
Kent's going to love that.
Yeah. Oh, you know the guy?
Oh, yeah. I know 70% of the people out there, I'm sure.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And he knows how to play those fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's Courtney.
That's Courtney. So what I asked you what goes through your mind before when you were flagging, and you said you meditate.
Right. So when I pick up a set of flags,
yes,
I don't start thinking about a move or a person or a specific thing. I pick up the flags and I start listening to the music, and I move my body and my hands to however I'm moved by that music. And the music is a very important thing. I would say that one of the reasons people love going out to the park is because the music that's played there is light and happy, and it's motivating to dance. So you can be out there in a daytime event, sober, enjoying the music, enjoying people responding to the music. Here's Marcos. You were mentioning that you loved the video of him.
Yes.
Let's watch him move.
And again, the music just takes you away,
and you get lost.
Yes.
So in being in the moment, you are in a space of meditation. You are in the now, which is what so many people want to be. It's not easy to be there.
Not in this day and age where there's so many distractions.
And there are different types of meditations. This is obviously an active meditation as opposed to a passive one, sitting on a grass mat with a little incense burning. But yeah, so meditate how you want, but meditate, spend time with yourself, processing. It's very important. And so I set this event up knowing that I'm setting this up for people to learn, as you see here, or to come and to process.
Right. And
or be fabulous.
That's what I was going to say. It seems like it's a great opportunity for people to express themselves as their inner fabulosity.
Yes.
Yes.
There's obviously the definite visuals about people with their flags. People watching see the visuals. You come out to the park, you sit down, bring a lunch, and just watch. It's a feast for the eyes. But for the person that's in the moment, it's something totally different.
You were mentioning the music before. Do you have much say in what music gets played?
I give a lot of leeway to the DJs. I tell them a tone that I want, and then hope that they go there. I explain that this is an event that's out in the park, open to people, just to walk through.
And there you are flagging.
I want them to have a fun time. And if the music is too esoteric, too tribal, don't think that that's going to connect with everybody that goes through the park. Can't get everybody, but I want to get most of the people. I want them to recognize something that they've heard before. And yeah.
This, for example, is one of my all-time favorite songs, which is 7 Cities by Solarstone.
Very good.
I love. So as a photographer or a videographer, this for me is like a magical moment to get Marcus, now I know his name.
Marcus, yes.
Yes. Being at one with the flags.
with that beautiful green, lush trees, and
It's gorgeous. And as the fog rolls in, it's almost like the sun itself is part of this enormous natural disco. It's like the world has become a dance club and celebrating life.
Well,
Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it, Xavier, for the video. That is brilliant and a great opportunity. And it's great to see it. So you're laying on buses to the Memorial Grove this time around.
Yes.
You're expecting quite a few people.
we're expecting quite a few people. I'd say we're trying to double or triple our attendance. Last year we were running 250 people at our larger events, and this year, this particular event, we're hoping to see a lot of people there. So we're providing shuttle service from the Castro Theater to the AIDS Memorial Grove and back.
Now, this is not just for the park. You've also got involved in a film, and which is called what? Because this thing's getting bigger and bigger, it seems to me. This flagging, flow arts. So tell me about the film.
Well, the film is called Flow Affair.
Okay. We've got just under a minute left, by the way.
I happen to have a copy here.
Okay.
And we're going to be showing this at the MCC Church, which is on Eureka, 150 Eureka, on Friday night at 8 o'clock. It is free. We're going to request a donation, and the money that's collected will go to the beneficiary of the Flagging in the Park, which is the National AIDS Memorial Grove the next day. The filmmaker Wolfgang Busch is going to be there. He's done a wonderful job capturing the essence of people that flag, and so I'm excited that this is shown.
So it's going to be Flagging in the Park on this Saturday?
This Saturday.
12:30 to 4:30.
With Susan Morbido, and we want to spend out a special thanks to Past Curfew Productions for making this possible for Susan to be here. She's also spinning at their event on Sunday evening. Play.
Well, thank you very much, and see you next week on the program.
Thank you, Stephen.